Fortnite Season 3 could be absolutely peak, you guys. If you guys don't know, Fortnite's brand new season is coming out in just 2 days at the time that I'm recording this, and it is a Star Wars mini-season called Galactic Battle. And I genuinely think that this might be one of the best mini-seasons that we've ever had and could actually trump Season OG in terms of how fun it is in general. As you guys know, we've had a lot of other mini-seasons, but this one is going to have something a little bit different. It's going to be all brand new, and the other mini-seasons that we've had, Season OG and Remix, we were returning to something. But with this Galactic Battle, we have custom mythics. We're going to have obviously a bunch of crazy collabs involving Star Wars, as well as real-time world changes within Fortnite that you'll be able to see every single day. And to be honest, this looks like one of the most high-effort seasons Fortnite has ever done, and I am so excited. Even things like the Battle Pass, even though a lot of people are upset about the mashups, to the Death Star tease in the sky, I genuinely think that this could go down as one of the most unique Fortnite seasons that we've ever seen. Now, one thing that you guys need to understand is that this isn't just another Star Wars collab. A lot of people are kind of comparing it to the little like events that we get around May 4th normally for Star Wars. Fortnite has done a lot of Star Wars stuff before. You know, we've had lightsabers in the game. We've had Darth Vader mythics. We've had, the Force mythic. We get skins every May the 4th, but this season is obviously completely different as we're going to have TIE fighters, we're going to have X-Wings, we're going to be able to fly around the map and do all sorts of awesome new things as these characters in the game. Galactic Battle isn't just simply like a side event or, a mini battle pass. It is the entire season, fully themed, full battle pass, gameplay seasons, and what I particularly love about this, especially with it being collabs, is that it's going to be a live evolving map. Now, this is the first time that Star Wars actually feels completely integrated into the core of Fortnite, not just sprinkled on top into another sort of season like we've seen before. One thing I haven't seen a lot of people talking about is the Death Star in the sky. Now, I had made a video talking about the progression of that and what it's going to look like throughout the course of the season. That's in the top right of your screen here if you'd like to watch that. But I think that's such an underrated part of the season, with that looming Death Star just slowly creeping closer in the sky. Now, to be honest with you guys, it's giving serious Chapter 1 meteor energy. Every time in Chapter 1 Season 3, when I would log in, I would always look to see if the meteor was closer, if it made a different sound when you aimed in on it, and I think that might be the case for a lot of people with the Death Star as well, and I don't understand why people are talking about that, because when Fortnite has something looming towards the island, like Galactus or the meteor, it's visual storytelling done amazingly. I think it's really cool that there's actual progression to this season. You're not just sitting there grinding quests, and the storyline isn't going to feel bland with this. You're actually watching a galactic-sized threat build day by day, and that's how you build hype in Fortnite without a ton of spoilers or without revealing too much very, very soon. Especially now, since it's confirmed that we're going to be getting an event at this season, we know what this is setting up. It's setting up a full-blown live narrative event, which is what Fortnite is calling these, full actual events now, involving the Death Star. And to be honest, you guys, if they go all in, this could be very like Operation Skyfire-esque from Chapter 2 Season 7. That was one of my most favorite events of all time, and I believe it's one of the most interactive that we've ever seen in Fortnite. We actually went into the Last Reality's giant mothership, we infiltrated it, and we used it to blow it up from the inside pretty much, and that led us into Season 8 with the cubes and all types of stuff like that. It was a mind-blowing event, and I think this is going to build up to something very familiar. Now, another thing too is that it's the first time in a long time where the build up to an event throughout the course of the season actually feels connected. Not just like a random trailer drops with some quests slapped onto it. I think this actually makes a lot of sense, and there's more of a connection to it. Fortnite, obviously, we've talked about this before, is going more towards their metaverse stuff, but I think something that makes people really interested in Fortnite is storytelling. And I think they would have a lot more people more interested in seasons, especially when it's slower and they're not dropping as many updates or there's not as many collabs. I think that the storyline needs to be more important so that there's more of a Fortnite aspect to this game. And even though this is a collab, I think this is a good step forward towards Fortnite focusing more on storyline heavy aspects. Now, the Battle Pass could actually go pretty hard. Now, of course, we haven't actually seen it in-game just yet, but who knows, that could get leaked very soon. In the Battle Pass, we've got Palpatine, we have General Grievous, which was one of the most wanted skins in terms of Star Wars collabs in Fortnite, and we even got some surprise wildcards. We got Jedi Eevee and, of course, the Wookiee team leader, which I haven't heard anybody talk good about Even though we do have the mashups, and I know a lot of people are split on those skins, if we're being honest, Fortnite needs a mix of collabs and original skins. You can't just do a full crossover or full, OG anymore. This is the perfect middle ground because like we've seen before, I know Fortnite did this with Chapter 2 Season 4 when we had an entirely, Marvel themed battle pass. There were no mashups. I like having at least a few, as long as they're not, a rehash of something that's already been reskinned a million times. And that's the biggest problem with the Wookiee team leader. As long as the cosmetics line up with the vibe of the map, the quest, the storyline, this could be one of the most consistent passes and one of the best ones that I think we've had in quite a while, just ignoring, the Wookiee team leader, of course. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking right now. You're like, I don't care about the storyline. Who cares about that anymore? No one has thought about that since Chapter 1. I understand, and with Star Wars comes some of the most awesome gameplay mechanics, in my opinion, that I think we've ever seen. We're getting Force mythics, like the Force push and the Force lightning, and that's not just a rumor anymore. We've actually seen it being used in the trailers. As you know, we saw Darth Jar Jar use it at the end of the teaser trailer, the only one that we have right now, which is surprising. Hopefully, we do get a new trailer soon, and hopefully, we also get the lightsabers back as well. I'd be very surprised if those don't come back for the one time where the Fortnite is literally all about Star Wars. So all of these different stuff, I know a lot of people really don't like the lightsabers, and I get it, but I absolutely love them. I think they are so cool. And it's one of the only times where like a melee weapon feels like fully worth picking up and is not too overpowered. And of course, depending on how they balance it, this could bring back, the chaos of lightsaber duels and everything, and people just constantly spamming the block, but with more strategic plays and counters, especially with, kind of these superpower sort of mythics that we could see, as along with, like actual Star Wars based guns, I think that is going to be really cool. We haven't really seen much of that. Of course, we do have, the regular like assault rifles that come out of the chest and everything with, the characters that are stationed around the map, but I think this is going to be a little bit different, and I think they're going to incorporate more unique items from Star Wars into the game. And I've talked about this a little bit more, you guys, but Epic is not just, like front loading this season. I've talked about before where it seems like Fortnite just likes to reveal everything and have all of this stuff come out right at the beginning of the season. But we've already heard and got confirmed that weekly updates are going to be planned for this 35-day season, as well as new characters like Mace Windu, Captain Rex, and even possibly a customizable Mandalorian skin could be coming later on in this season, which is really cool. There's going to be stacked item shops throughout this month, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But along with these weekly updates, it's building up to something, and I think that's what is really important, along with hopefully the map evolving a little bit more outside of just those 4 POIs on the corner will be really cool. So overall, you guys, I think this Star Wars season might actually be one of the best moves and one of the best seasons that Epic has made in quite a long time. And I know that might be a little bit controversial. I'm really excited for Star Wars. Even though I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, I think it's kind of hard to not be excited for all of this stuff coming to the game. Even if the event does end up delivering at the end, if the mythics are all as fun as we think they're going to be, and if the battle pass is as good as it looks right now, especially with General Grievous and Palpatine, I think Galactic Battle could be Fortnite at its absolute peak. And we say that a lot, you guys, but I think Fortnite, I think it's clear that they've had multiple peaks throughout the years. But what are you most excited for in this brand new season? Are you excited for the Death Star, the event? Let me know. Drop a like on today's video if you did enjoy. You watched all the way to the end. You must have enjoyed, so drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. I make videos like these every single day. Use code PROZEROYT, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.